Good morning, everyone, and if it hasn't been said already, welcome to Canberra. I hope you're enjoying our facilities. Question I've been asked a few times, the best coffee on campus is a place called Coffee Grounds, which is about 5-10 minutes, just walk over there. Our project, I'll start off with our background. We were an interdisciplinary team, including some physiologists, some psychologists, and even within that, some diversity. And that gave us a chance to actually sit in the interdisciplinary space quite nicely. The emphasis of our group had been on basically fatigue and effort regulation through endurance exercise, and that was Christie's PhD a little while back. And that gave us a chance to actually link the cognitive regulation of effort, so the cognitive and the physical linked quite closely. Within that as well, there was some psychologists going, don't forget motivation, don't forget all the things that psychologists talk about, and that was usually me. The goals of our project were to understand, therefore, the effects of different types of stress, physical, cognitive, emotional even, on that cognitive control of effort and performance. And we're not cognitive scientists, but we ended up using an awful lot of cognitive tests in that process to see, okay, how are those influencing physical performance and how are physical challenges feeding back into those cognitive levels of performance and capabilities. So that's really where we started out. And then during the project, and this is an important thing, I think, we actually were asked to and able to add an extra piece, which was to focus more on broader resilience. So we thought we were talking about cognitive resilience specifically, as Christy described yesterday. And then there was this piece on broader resilience, which when probed, we realized was actually resilient capability. So asking people, what are you capable of doing and ready to do next? So the idea of readiness that came up earlier. And we were able to develop a very quick measure of different forms of readiness, which could be used quite frequently, if needs be, for monitoring purposes. And that's the report's due in about 2 weeks on that one. So that's what we've been doing. Therefore, in terms of progress, as discussed, we're about 3 years in. We did a few reviews at the start to try and work out how different types of stressor, ranging from altitude to cold to heat to pressurized air, all can influence different forms of cognition and nutrients and all those sorts of things as well. And those papers are out there now. And then we've done 3 data collections, one described yesterday by Ben, looking at how exercise can actually exercise training can influence that cognitive control and assist you in dealing with the effects of mental fatigue. Christie's current work also looking at how those stresses are affecting people's cognitive capability and their ability to resist that fatigue. And then the work I ended up doing recently, developing that new measure. So they're all in progress, a lot of data collection's done. And we think the value for Army is that very sort of usable, accessible, easy to use measure of how ready someone currently is and what they can do next, which can be a useful indicator of where they're at and how they're traveling. And we also think the ability to optimize and maximize training to get the sort of adaptations that you want cognitively and physically is a nice outcome of what especially Christy's been doing recently. So very brief summary. All right.